You just finished watching Valorant Champions. Your favorite player Aspas hit some nasty shots and you want to be just like him. You start training in AimLab's practice range and Deathmatch while scrolling through hundreds of aim guides. But when you queue up in ranked, you don't see any improvements. You constantly feel like you're getting one-tapped by the enemy team. It's like they always have some advantage that you're not aware of. Well, maybe they are smurfing, but after this video, I promise, you will become the ranked demon and they will be the ones trembling in fear. What's up, tricksters? My name is Charlatan. I'm a Radiant coach that improved thousands of players, and I've literally spent the last 5 years studying how to help players just like you. I've also worked with a lot of professional FPS coaches and with one of the best aim coaches in the world. In this video, we will fix all of your mechanical problems once and for all. You will learn how to implement correct techniques into your mechanics while maximizing your skill with a very simple and effective routine. Also, this training covers every most important mechanical skill for Valorant, from fixing raw aim and movement problems all the way to polishing out your gunplay. So, whether you want to deal with smurfs as a silver, or you're struggling with consistency as an immortal player, this guide will provide you a clear path to improve all of your mechanics.
But Papito, you always say that aim is not important and knowledge is what truly matters.
Nope, those are not my words, and this is how the real quote sounds. You should mainly focus on developing your knowledge, decision making, and some other important skills, because they will make your ranked grind smarter, more efficient, and easier. Basically, if you improve some of these skills, from Iron to Immortal, you can take at least 8 out of 10 fights that work in your favor, where your aim won't be a huge deciding factor. So even if you have below average aim or your mechanical skill ceiling is not high enough, with good gameplay and different playstyles, you can still pave your way all the way up to high elo lobbies. But from Immortal to Radiant, you will have to rely more on your raw mechanical skill in order to take at least 50% of your kills. So aim is super important, but it is unhealthy to waste most of your time working only on this one skill. You just need to remember that you're training to become Radiant and not to be a rank 1 in aim training community. Keep in mind that every skill matters if you want to be at the top. With that being said, everyone should have a daily practice routine that is focusing on their most visible mechanical problems and general fundamentals of this video game.
But Papito, how can I find a good daily routine without spending enormous amount of time in this aim training rabbit hole?
Well, today I proudly present to you the ultimate mechanical practice routine for Valorant. One for all, or you can call it the O.F.A aim training. You can use it as a warm-up or as a dedicated practice routine, before, in between, or after your ranked games. But before we dive into the O.F.A, this video was made possible by today's sponsor, Valorant Tracker by TRN, which you can download for free by using my link from the description. This application allows you to analyze yourself and to always understand on which fields you can improve as a solo queue player, and in my private coaching sessions, this is the first thing that I do for my students. But this software is extremely useful to analyze your teammates and enemies as well. During your live games, based on these statistics, already at the start you can see which players are the weakness of yours or enemy team, which can increase your chances of winning if you use this data in the smart way. For an example, you can check player parties, and if 2 or more enemies are queued up together, you can probably expect from them some higher level of team play. They also have integrated guides and lineups that can be extremely useful if you're learning new agents, or if you simply want to increase your game knowledge while you're actually playing the game. Even though this video is sponsored by Valorant Tracker, I truly believe that this software can give you an advantage in your ranked games and it can help you to improve faster. Now we need to cover the most important tips for good mechanics in Valorant. First of all, there is no secret to great aim. Consistent good practice will make you great. If aim is your weakness, you need to practice every day. Motivation, dedication, and hard work will take you far. Talent is meaningless without them. Perfect sensitivity does not exist, but you need to find the most comfortable one. 99% of players should use sensitivity that is in between 160 and 360 EDPI. Going below or above these numbers makes absolutely no sense for a game such as Valorant. You can watch my settings guide where I've explained in depth how to find the best sensitivity for yourself. And during this one-for-all training, you should use your main in-game sensitivity for every task. Good equipment is important and it will definitely unlock your true potential, but you don't have to spend a crazy amount of money. These would be some minimal recommendations for Valorant, and on our Discord server you can find my personal top recommendations for all of these peripherals. Posture police! If you want to have great aim, you need to have the full stability for your whole body. Also, you want to bulletproof yourself for longevity and to prevent the Stephen Hawking cosplay. Both of your arms should be placed on the table, from tip of your fingers all the way down to the elbow. While aiming, you should be able to use full range of motion with both your wrist and forearm as well, essentially utilizing your mousepad to the full potential. Your feet should be placed evenly on the ground, creating a 90 degrees arc in your knees. No wobbling in the chair, no XQC pose, you should be fully locked in. Everything else is just a preference, but I'd also recommend you don't make out with your monitor. When you sit way too close, you sacrifice enormous amount of peripheral vision, which is very important for proper information gathering. Just make sure that you can check everything on your screen by simply moving your eyes left and right. Neck workouts are not allowed in this gym, same as autopiloting. If you're already trying to get better at something, make sure that you're 100% mentally ready for every task. If you half-ass your training, how can you expect to be fully focused in a 5v5 ranked game? Though, background music is allowed as long as it's not distracting you. For the final topic, remember to reset your aim, both in-game and in aim trainers, but don't do it often. If your hand ends up in some unnatural position during training, reset it to your default position so that you're ready to take next shot or gunfight. You always want to aim from your strongest hand and forearm position, but you should try getting accustomed to using every inch of your mousepad, no matter where your hand ends up during the fights. Now you're finally ready to begin with a one-for-all method. Down below in description you can find a Google document that explains each exercise, resting times, and for how long you should be doing them. Keep in mind that during every task you should mainly focus on precision. Speed will come with time, while bad habits are very hard to correct. Now open that document and it's time for the first exercise, which is the O.F.A AimLab's playlist. In the following segment I'm going to demonstrate how should you perform each task and why are they good for your aim in Valorant. Now for the second exercise, go into practice range and enable shooting error graph. The focus of this one is to fully develop proper timing to stop and shoot, with full accuracy. You're going to enable medium bots with armor, and for the weapon you're going to use the bulldog. You should constantly strafe left and right with only A and D keys, while keeping your crosshair centered in the range. When the bots spawn, you're going to immediately stop, flick, and then burst fire. For every exercise, shooting error graph should only show orange, to indicate maximum accuracy. Your end goal is to kill all 30 bots as you're getting better, and the reason why you're using bulldog is because you will have to kill them with 2 shots. Which means that you cannot have any wasted bullets because of your improper timing to stop and shoot. For the third exercise, enable easy bots and buy the Vandal. The focus of this one is to fully connect your movement with your aim. Press start, and when the bot spawns to your right, you should overflick to the right of the bot and then strafe to the left only using A key until your crosshair aligns on the bot's head. Then let go of the A and one-tap the bot. If the bot spawns on the left, you're doing the left overflick, following the same process. Make sure that you're not overflicking too much, and your end goal is to kill 30 bots. Once you hit that benchmark, you can move on to medium bots while trying to get at least 20 kills. For the fourth exercise, enable 50 static elimination bots and buy the Guardian. You should position either far left or far right like this. You're going to kill bots in the pairs of 2. First bot, you're going to track his head perfectly while you're constantly strafing only with your A and D keys. You will do this for 2 seconds before you stop and take an accurate shot. Then once you kill the first bot, instantly flick onto the second one and delete him with only 1 bullet to the head. If you miss the second bot, he becomes the first one, and you simply repeat the same process. The focus of this exercise is to work on smooth tracking with precise target switching when you're fighting multiple enemies, and your benchmark is to kill these 50 bots in less than 100 seconds. For the fifth exercise, you will keep Guardian, 50 static elimination bots, but you need to switch onto Sage. You will place the Sage wall in the middle of range like this. The focus of this exercise is developing a proper timing for Deadzone mechanic. If bot spawns on the left, based on audio, take the cover behind the wall, pick the bot with A key, and when your crosshair is right on his head, immediately let go of A key, one-tap the bot with full accuracy, and then immediately press the D key to move behind the wall again. If the bot spawns on the right, follow the opposite process. With this task, you're trying to master the perfect timing of firing a fully accurate shot while you're moving before and after you shoot. Your benchmark is to kill these 50 bots in less than 70 seconds. For the sixth exercise, you will play 3 games of Deathmatch like a gun game, but we are going to maximize the efficiency of this training. You will go through these 10 weapons, starting with a classic pistol and ending with an outlaw. We are only using these weapons because they will teach you almost everything that you need to know when it comes to the proper gunplay hygiene. With each weapon, you need to get 5 kills in order to move on to the next one. Your goal is to get 50 kills in less than 3 deathmatch games. But how are we going to maximize the efficiency? Well, by following some strict rules. Rule number 1. You need to record all of these games because we'll use them later for the final exercise. Rule number 2. Camping the same angle for more than 3 seconds is not allowed. Rule number 3. Hyper-focus on how you're peeking and clearing angles. You need to properly clear every single angle that you're engaging, even if enemies cannot be there. Hold the W key to get to an angle while placing your crosshair on the most probable position from which enemies can kill you at that moment of time. When you reach an angle that you want to peek, pre-aim it with proper crosshair placement in the wall and only use A and D keys to clear it. You want to practice wide, short, and jiggle peeks, as well as actively thinking when you want to let go of W and start pressing A and D. The ranked playbook on my Discord server can help you a ton with this exercise. Rule number 4. Be unpredictable during your gunfights. Standing still and just randomly spraying is not allowed. Move during your fights as much as you can. Apply the proper gunplay hygiene with all of the techniques that we've practiced in the range, moving and shooting in different patterns. For an example, if you jiggle peeked an enemy, instead of engaging him again from the same position, move closer or further away from the wall to disrupt his crosshair placement and abuse a fast Deadzone peek to delete him with one-tap weapons. Rule number 5. Your end goal is practicing proper gunplay with the main traits of each weapon. In the Google document down below in the description, you can find a separate video where I demonstrate how should you use each of these weapons and what should be your main focus during the practice. Make sure to watch that video before you start with this training. For the final exercise, you're going to do a VOD review of these 3 pre-recorded deathmatch games. The goal of this one is to finally fix your crosshair placement forever. We're going to use the picture memory and mindful repetition, which is much better rather than fixing it based on feelings. Now, during the VOD review, screenshot every fight in which you had a bad crosshair placement on some common or off angle. Then create a custom server, select a map on which that fight happened, and make sure to pick Yoru. We're going to use his clone in order to mimic enemy movement and positioning. So let's say for an example that on Bind, you really struggled fighting enemies on A site from showers. With Yoru clone, we can mimic the exact enemy body position or even movement on these common angles. Then go into showers, and when you're ready, activate the Yoru clones and go for a peek. You should repeat this process for every fight at least 5 times, and try to memorize how your crosshair placement should look like when you're clearing these angles. You can also develop some temporary crosshair placement lineups as a third wheel that can help you with this problem. For an example, everything in Valorant is built with intention. You can use every box, every object, every line on every wall as an indicator for your crosshair placement. Single boxes are almost the same height as a player model. So when you're peeking enemies from showers, as long as you place your crosshair slightly lower compared to the height of these boxes, you'll be ready for every fight at the backside. But also, this 7th line on the wall in showers is literally a perfect crosshair placement lineup for all of these fights. Even now, as an all-time Radiant player, I'm still using some of these lineups that I've memorized years ago. Especially for fights for which you cannot gamble having a bad crosshair placement, such as doing some fast Deadzone peek in B main of Split. So, with just 15 minutes of this daily custom server practice, and by actively applying this picture memory training in your ranked games, you can fix your crosshair placement much faster than if you just mindlessly spam hundreds of death matches. Now, if you do this one-for-all routine every day for at least 2 months, and you hit all of the benchmarks, I guarantee that your aim won't be holding you back anymore. But if you're still stuck, your aim was not the main problem to begin with. Roll the closer. Yo, tricksters, Papito here. Did you know that you can get free coaching? Yes, you heard that right. Every week on our Discord, I make giveaways as a thank you for letting me pursue my dream. Also, through Discord subscriptions, you can unlock tons of other coaching content, such as the Radiant Ranked Playbook with guaranteed monthly VOD and tracker reviews. Once we reach 1000 subscribers, I'll be moving to NA for 2 months to play on your server and to make even more content. And by the way, if you enjoy the videos, I stream every day doing coaching and playing ranked, so make sure to show up live. Thank you for the support and keep on grinding, baby!